So Trump's trial has been, or whatever they're doing. They're picking jury selection right now.
They finished that, yeah.
And the liberals in my life are like, every day, they're like, did you hear? Trump fell asleep again today. Did you hear? Trump fell asleep again today and he farted. Did you hear? Trump fell asleep today and he slipped out of his chair and he said, "Mama." And it's just like, that's when I sent that meme to you.
He's also
Taylor.
bad. Yeah.
Taylor of Ralphie going, "I heard your dad was so fat he ate the restaurant. And then there were no more fish and he ate the fish and he ate the man who owned the restaurant." It's like, what are you? Look, Trump is clearly on. He's having an embarrassing trial, sure. And I definitely saw that picture of him appearing to doze off.
Twice,
but
yeah.
Who cares? Isn't that the time to doze off?
So look, I take it. I agree, and I would probably sleep in court too. But I haven't spent the last 4 years making fun of Sleepy Joe and
That's true.
This guy and that guy.
That's true. And maybe a little hypocritical. In some ways. Here's what I didn't like. I heard today. I actually saw Biden speaking before. I don't know who, but I saw that he was going to cry, so I watched it, and he's got his real old man voice on. And but he said that Trump called dead veterans suckers and losers in France, and I didn't like that. So I kept doing more and more research, and it seems that Trump was supposed to visit some like Allied graveyard in France when he was the president, and he didn't want to go because it was raining and it would dishevel his hair. And he was like 5 different people, including his chief of staff, have said that he's like, why would I go anyway? Those people are suckers and losers.
About the French?
And about the American troops who died on D-Day. Like the D-Day heroes.
He plays by his own rules.
Remember Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan? Got the guys that were dead behind
suckers
him.
And losers.
So I don't like
Wait, he called the bald guy who died saving those people from that blown up house?
Vin Diesel. That was Vin Diesel.
Oh, well, I don't like that. Vin Diesel was not a sucker and a loser.
He said Vin Diesel was a sucker and a loser. He gave his life in France carrying that little girl.
I don't like that.
He wrote a letter for his pop. It's got blood on it.
I even when I watched that movie the first time, I'm like, no, don't send Vin Diesel. Like, he's one of the top 3 guys in the group. Like, send someone else to this clear death trap. There's a German sniper in that building.
I actually think Trump is awesome for saying that.
Jesus.
I think it's very cool
I think it's
that he
brave.
said that.
A lot of Canadians died on those speeches too.
But I want to say, because not in the way that I agree. I disagree fully. I think that he plays a great heel. As a big wrestling fan, you liked when the bad guy did some fucking bad guy shit because you're like, you know what? He's consistent.
He's not doing showmanship here. These are his sincere.
That's who he is. He literally is a heel. He's just like like he made fun of that reporter, their hand. Remember that? Like, he.
Do you know how many people have tried to pass that off as not being related to this guy? Had a disability that made him go like this.
Yeah.
And then Trump mocked him. And
yeah, he literally did it. That's like The Rock, when The Rock was like peak bad guy.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's when he earned my vote.
That's like one time I was on mushrooms tripping at my house with my buddy, and we couldn't go outside. Some plans we were going to go outside, but we ended up being at home. We couldn't get on top of the buzz. It was weird. It wasn't happening. And so we put on old wrestling clips. And that was kind of fun and funny, and it was working a bit. And then we let YouTube algorithm choose it, and went from like wrestling promos, cutting sick ass promos like Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you, and then it goes into
what's he say?
I forget. And then it goes into like Trump speeches, like best Trump like speeches, and it's just he killed every wrestler that we had just watched. We just saw the best of the best wrestlers cutting promos for show business. And like, you're right. He's not even doing this for show. This is who he is. Yeah. He was killing it. We were laughing. We're like, the president, bro, this is the president. The buzz was good. Everything was chill. We watched like 40 minutes of Trump just to get on top of it. It wasn't even intentional.
The way he sings songs, his speeches, it's a turnoff for me. Like, and then the ramparts, they blazed, and this war, Gettysburg, it was beautiful.
Those rockets.
Ugly.
Wow, that glass.
And you're
those rockets. Like, everyone's talking about the rockets. You couldn't tear me away from
I call it the Trump two-step. where he says both. Like, this was great and it was terrible and it was big and it was small. And then, there's plausible deniability on anything. Whatever you want.
You're talking about him like a person, though. I've been so past speaking about him like a person. He's an entity.
He's a character
that has consumed a portion of all our lives.
He's a sovereign citizen
like
now.
He's not
a person per se. He's a being traveling.
He's like, my attorneys, they've informed me with great attorneys. I have the best attorneys. They've said that I can get this, folks. I'm a naval vessel. A naval vessel doesn't sound realistic to me either, but it's a way to get out of tickets.
You don't win the electoral college without being somewhat charming. Like, I can see it, right? He's obviously popular amongst a lot of people. It doesn't work on me.
I'll say this, that I did not like that he said that. I can't
wait. Which one?
I want the suckers and losers.
Suckers and losers.
Okay,
it's like the craziest shit to say. It's like crazy thing to say.
I think that those guys who died on that beach in particular are those are the American heroes. Those are the real ones. If there ever was
a history buff,
if there ever was an American hero, it was the dudes who went to France.
We play as these guys in video games. We play as these guys in video games for decades. These guys are like
the Revolutionary War guys.
Yes, outranking the Revolutionary War guys. They wanted
guys.
They were fighting over taxes.
Semper Fi.
Dom? No. Okay, Dom was a real one. All right. When he got down there and his wife had been raped by the locusts.
Crazy, man.
And there was only one thing to do. Dom.
Yeah. Dom. That was big.
Oh, that was hard. That was hard. If they had made you choose like what to do, and if you spared her, she then bit Marcus, and Marcus was dead. And that was it. That would have been like a crazy, like, I would have liked that through. But there's no choice. Dom.
Who the hell is Marcus? What is this?
Marcus
Phoenix? These are Gears of War characters. Marcus
Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah.
You took us here.
Did I say did I say Gears of War accidentally?
No.
It's possible.
I think one of you said Revolutionary War, and I misheard it because I think we were cross talking.
But yeah, the Revolutionary War guys. Look, we wouldn't have a country without them. But let's be real about their personal and private motivations. There might have been a handful of people who were like, "Yeah, liberty would be great," but there were a lot of people who thought, "I ain't paying those taxes no more. I'm a rich fucking man. I built something here. Why are they getting a piece of my?" That's what it's about. Like that. But
you those guys in the foundation of our country.
I'm elucidating it.
Nah, this sounds like a bunch of open to me.
Yeah.
But those guys who got in those fucking drop ships and went to a beach in France to literally kick the Nazis out and push them back, like, those were the heroes. Those were the guys.
And a president said that. A president.
Yeah, so I don't. So that
Commander-in-Chief.
I really don't.
Any president should. No other president would have ever said that, or any person. No person who wants to be president. Not a single person who wants to be president and ever will want to be president would ever say that.
I'll take it back.
And he said it because he's special.
To add to what you're saying, I don't think there's a president in my lifetime who thought that. Like, back off saying it to fucking Mark Milley or whoever he's talking to.
Yeah.
But
no one thought it or believed it or ever will.
Reagan would have ever had that feeling.
No, they think the opposite and would have said the opposite.
There's plenty of people who would think maybe something like that about Vietnam. About like, like y'all got tricked into this. Y'all think you're doing this one thing, but really it's not that. Like you could say that and it'd be true.
Or a lot of them didn't even get tricked. They got dragged there at gunpoint.
Which is the thing about World War
Zach,
II.
can you get that data for us with Vietnam? Because that is interesting. How many people volunteered for Vietnam versus were in drafted? Drafts versus enlistment
for Vietnam.
Yeah.
Okay. Draft. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. That's why they needed a draft, because nobody.
Do they call it a draft in Canada? Has there been one? Because what do they call it in Ukraine?
Conscription. Conscription.
Is that what they call it in Canada? Also,
I don't know.
Okay.
They avoid war up there.
Yeah.
I mean, wide scale war, but
they were on you guys. We sent
the Canadians had a whole beat.
We sent money over there.
I think the Canadians had a whole beach on D-Day, just saying.
I think they fought the northernmost beach because they're used to the north.
Oh, sure. My. Can I want to read this because I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
just
know
a second. Common belief is that most Vietnam veterans were drafted. Fact. 2/3 of the men that served in Vietnam were volunteers. 2/3 of the men that served in World War II were drafted. Approximately 70% of those killed in Vietnam were volunteers. Woo. Wow. 2/3 of them. Oh no, that does time. Yeah, 2/3 were volunteers, 70% of the dead. Yes, the ratio.
Yeah,
I thought it was reversed. I made a
Slightly
mistake.
higher though. Still.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it makes sense that there were so many draftees during World War II just because of the amount of men sent. The millions who were.
I mean, when I was in school, they made it seem like people were begging to go, lying about their age to get into World War II. That they were like high school gym classes were organized, and every kid was excited about going over and fighting the Nazis. And
People
then I learned
killed
most of
themselves
them
that were. People killed themselves that weren't medically cleared.
Yeah. But since most of them were drafted, this is not what I expected to hear.
I wonder if there's a historian would be like, actually, they chose to check drafted on their form because that allowed their wives to get access to the diaper program. Like maybe there's a thing, maybe there's like a trick to why. Yeah. You never know. But yeah, I didn't like Trump said that. That's like crazy. I don't like that at all.
In this trial, there's a lot of wild stuff that's going to come out. Like the catch and kill stuff about McDougal, you already heard. But like so Trump is friends with the owner of the National Enquirer, right? Oh, okay. The National Enquirer is the people that did the catch and kill with one of the not a porn star, but like a Playboy, Karen McDougal, I think was her name. That's another. Everyone knows Stormy Daniels, but there's more than one. And he did a non-disclosure agreement with him through the National Enquirer. They bought her story and then didn't run it. But they bought exclusivity to it. So it's called a catch and kill. Now no one else can run that story. Well, there's more. They put out a bunch of other stories that weren't true because they're the National Enquirer in an effort to aid Trump. Like one about Ted Cruz's dad being the
Zodiac killer.
The Zodiac killer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, so
that's
they're
true.
running.
That's not debunked yet.
And then there's something about JFK's murder or something. I'm a little mixed, but National Enquirer was running fake negative stories about Trump's competitors. Yeah. And then also burying stories that would hurt Trump. And they were almost part of his campaign team. And somehow that's going to be part of this trial that he's in. It's going to come.
What's the circulation on the National Enquirer? I think that's very relevant, but
not much. I would imagine,
because
in the world of
what it does is it puts the story. There's a Streisand effect. I don't know. They run the story, and then MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, they're talking about the story, and it really went pretty big. It wasn't like it was just the people who read it directly. I'm sorry.
Is anything there illegal other than the people breaking their NDAs?
Yeah, because it's a kind of campaign contribution when you tried to influence the election like that. And that ties into this case because this case is really about campaign finance.
He's an idiot. He's such an idiot. like that's the thing. Just like if anybody cares, this isn't about whether he paid off the porn star or not.
Right.
Because he did. It's about how he wrote the check. He wrote the check through the wrong fucking account because he wanted to write off his porn star payoff as a campaign. Although, can I just say, isn't it a campaign expense? If you're paying off a porn star who was going to,
I feel like his brain works like that.
I mean, it is. But that's the problem. He made it like it wasn't a campaign. But what he did is he tried to pretend that paying off the porn star was a legal expense and just bury the whole thing. When what it should have been was a campaign expense. So that's where the campaign finance violation.
I just do not care about Trump paying off porn stars. Like
this is in terms of like dirty deeds.
How much taxes did he get away with? Like are we talking
not a ton?
About,
I mean, if it's 130 grand, then you call that like 40% tops, maybe less, 30%. So 30% of 130 grand is incalculable. Nobody knows that, but you could estimate it.
I wish he'd just be like, "Can I just write you a check for 50 and we'll call it even?" like, why can't he just pay the taxes that they think he owes? I don't.
He always twists it a little extra, right?
He is a piece of shit. However, I gotta say, all right, so it's hard to tell sometimes to see the forest for the trees. What I'm getting fed a lot on social media and on YouTube is like blacks for Trump and Palestinian or Arab Americans for Trump and Mexicans for Trump, and they all focus on the reasons that make them sort of. And I see black people saying like, "Here's our president seeing the 2-tier justice system." that we have been suffering against for years. Here they see him. Yeah, he sells sneakers. That's fucking cool.
I mean, everybody thinks he's cooler than Biden, but that's not going to swing a lot of people's votes.
Yeah.